IJY. Kilowatt 2 Iowa, January yesterday. K2IJY. Kilowatt 2 Iowa, January yesterday. K2IJY. Here. Let's see what I got here. Hello test 1 2 3 4. Hello test. K2IJY. Hello test 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5. K2IJY. Shokan, New York.
普通は 100% の AM だとパワー系はそんなに触れませんね。はい、1000ワットの信号に1000ワットのアンプで変調かけてるから、これが本当の 100% 変調の AM 送信機ですね。
CQ75, CQ75, K2IJY, CQ75 meters, K2IJY, Kilowatt 2 Iowa, January yesterday, K2IJY, Shokan, New York, K2IJY. CQ75 meters, CQ75 meters, CQ75 meters, K2IJY, calling CQ75
このくらいちょっと揺れるぐらいで
K2IJY,
本当の 100%
Kilowatt 2
変調ってや
Iowa,
つです
January
ね。
yesterday, K2IJY, Shokan, New York.
AM の送信機、モノホンの 1kW ってやつですね。リニアは使ってなくてね、送信機自体で 1kW 出してるっていうことなんですけどね。だからこっちがファイナルで、こっちが変調機のファイナルってことなんですけどね。
K2IJY, Kilowatt 2 Iowa, January yesterday, K2IJY, Shokan, New York.
放送局の
K2IJY,
送信機を
calling
アマチュア用に
CQ75
改
meters,
造して
K2IJY, Shokan, New York.
というわけです。お、呼んできた。呼んできたよ。
Good afternoon. Here's November 2, Lima Juliet Oscar, N2LJO. Name is George.
Yeah, N2LJO is it? George. K2IJY, handle Dave, Dog, Able, Victor, Easy. Where I'm actually in Boyceville, New York, but my home QTH is Shokan, New York, about 5 miles down the road. I'm running a column 20V2 at about 500 watts or so, and a host of other stuff connected to it. We turned it on, we had this big flash, and the breaker kicked. The fan shorted out inside. A 220 volt fan, I got a spare. But anyway, took it out and I went back on the air again. But I couldn't believe that the filament breaker kicked out, and I said, well, let's pull some tubes. Maybe we got a 400 gone bad. So I got in the back, we hit the breaker, and I see this gigantic flash come out of the blower motor. Well, that was the end of it. K2IJY.
K2IJY, N2LJO. Very good, Dave. Well, that's the fun of operating these old radios. Every now and then, you got a little fireworks show, but that doesn't sound like it's anything that would be dramatically difficult to fix. Usually with these things, the hardest part of fixing them is moving them. You know, that's usually the hardest. Of the repairs usually aren't too bad, unless it's an intermittent. Intermittents are a pain in the ass. You know, but something just breaks. The hardest thing is to move it, like a Valiant, or even my Globe King. If I have to take one of the decks out,
He's got no clue you're on a 20V.
with this Kenwood amplifier here, about a year ago, gave me a couple of issues after owning it for about 15 years. And I think it's heavier than the Valiant, the Kenwood TL922. I'm on my rice box right now. I've got a nice collection of boat anchors. I've got a couple of what I call the baby boat anchors here in the house shack. I've got a shack out in the garage where I've got the larger stuff. Not that the largest thing I own is the Globe King. I mean, I see guys with T368s and broadcast transmitters that are, you know, much larger than that, but the Globe King and the Valiant and the Heathkit stuff, they're all pretty big. And in the house I have a Ranger that I modified, came out very nice. And I go 720, which I actually have warming up, so I may actually wind up switching over to that.
幸
Because
せ
I
そ
know
うな顔してま
the
す。
AM audio on this radio is very much
究極
on the
の
yellow
趣味だよ
side.
ね。
K2IJY, N2LJO.
Yeah, okay, George. No, the audio sounds good on that thing. I didn't think it was a rice box at all. I thought you were on a Ranger or something. No, the audio's fine. I wouldn't do anything with it. I'm listening to you on a national NC400 receiver. You probably know what that is. It's a good radio, and it really, for 1959, it's a good receiver. It has both mechanical and IF filters in it. So it's working pretty good. I got the audio cranked up on this thing pretty good. I have an Orban 9100 connected to it, so I'm running about 125% positive and about 100% negative, according to this REA. I got it from Steve, you know, QIX. He makes these nice little monitors. So I was on that. Anyway, I'm looking at the 400s, the modulars. They just barely show a little color. I'm not running a lot of power to them, actually. So, you know, again, another fan in here. The fan is good. It's a fan that runs air through the whole case. The 20V2 is about 1,800 pounds of transmitter. But I have a dolly that I built for it, so I can just spin it right around and get work on the back. My friend Jimmy, I'm an HQTH now, WQ2A. That's what his transmitter is. We both use it. I haven't been on the air with this thing, God, I bet you it's been months. And, you know,
変調
I'm
の
an
ファイナル
old
の
AM guy from God knows how long ago, and I'm just stuck with it. I operate
送
on
信の方
sideband,
の
but I like the old stuff. It's neat, you know. I mean, I'm
はいす
almost
ごい
76 years old now. I did every kind of thing under the sun. I was a broadcast engineer. I worked in a government research plant, and I don't know, it's just addicting, you know. And it's a lot of fun. It really made my whole life. I made a good living at it. I enjoyed myself talking to everybody under the brother. You know, I learned a lot of stuff from people that did a lot of stuff. They built a lot of things. They experienced a lot of things. There's a lot of knowledge out there to be learned. I knew some things, but I learned a great deal from other people. It's amazing. So yeah, I know the Globe King 500. A friend of mine had one. Remember Dick EGG?
Yep.
He had a Globe King 500. He brought it up there one day, and we worked on it. We had it on 2 tables. We got it working pretty good. I've had every kind of AM rig. I had a 30K1 back in 1970. I built an big AM rig. I have a few big AM rigs. I'm talking to a guy up there, living up by Syracuse. He has another Gates kilowatt. He wants to get rid of that works. I may just buy that from him just to have around here, play with it, whatever. And I have a couple more 20V2s in the barn where I live that's in various stages of getting going again. So that's where I'm at. George, over to you on the whole hog it. N2GJ or K2IJY?
Yeah, okay, K2IJY, N2LJO. Very good. Yeah, what you're using sounds real good. I am somewhat familiar with the NC400. I know a lot of the guys really like the national receivers. Never owned one myself, not that I wouldn't, just never came across one.
That's what you came
I've
for.
always been a fan of the Hamilton.
Matson.
And not even the real sophisticated like
He's
the
looking for that foot.
SP600.
No, he owes me.
Or the HQ129, a lot of the guys like that. I had one of those for a while, and it was okay, but I like the late 50s, 60s.
Those switches are great.
60s Hammerlins,
Okay, isn't that nice? It's
you
nicer
I
than
have a
the trigger.
170 HQ170.
You sell them?
I have a 100.
How much you get? 25 piece? 30 piece?
So it's 30 a piece. He gave me
One
a
of my
deal on it,
closest friends-
because I'm going to sell them for me. He asked me if I'd
Even
sell them
though
for
I
me.
don't see that much.
What do you normally
He
get
should
for
give
them?
me, no, he gets
I'm in
30
New
more.
York.
Huh?
He normally gets 30.
Up in
I'll
the
take him
FS
at
was
30.
Also my Elmer, Mark,
Come on.
QFX.
No.
At the last NFS back in
Dave,
April, I guess it was,
If you want to sell
he
him for him,
gave
sell
me
him.
a
You can
Hammer.
I don't want to sell nothing.
200,
Then what do you? How many more do you
which
need?
a lot of people have never heard of. I had heard of it, but I'd never seen one. And it's like toward the end.
同軸がすごいですよ。このフェードラインの同軸で給電してるんですけどね。平行になってるや
What
つ。
would you do with that?
If you look it up, HQ200, it's a Hammer. It looks like a Hammercraft. A neighbor of
本当に昔のままでね。
gave it to him, found it, I don't know, in a garbage pile or at the
やって
dump.
ますね。
And then neighbor went to him, gave it to Mark. Mark gave it to me. He has no interest in phone anchors at all. And I brought it home after the fest, and the cord was cut off. It was filthy. The knobs were all cracked. The cabinet was, the paint was shot on the cabinet, but I took it all apart, went through it, and painted the cabinet, ordered a new set of knobs, sprayed everything, tested all the tubes, put a 3-wire cord on it, and man, that thing plays really nice. So I used to use an HQ100A on 11 meters with a Ranger 2, which you can use a Ranger 2 on 11 meters. You have to pull out the doubler tube in the VFO. So, and that was just by happenstance.
I think that was the Bella's old radio.
This one
And
here?
that's how I,
No, I have two. I
that
have
was
another
how I
one.
got started with
Transformers
the
supposed to
Hammer.
be bad. These
That's
are
my driveway
still-
along.
One of them I
Either
gave you
get
from
the
the
delivery
Bella
or my wife is coming home. Sorry for the noise
years ago.
in the background.
I don't know.
And I think it's my wife.
See
Anyway,
that? Attenuator?
good on the dolly, on the heavy radio.
It's all
I have a
chrome
dolly
plated
under the
in
Glow
here.
King. And
Here's on I made that
1959
dolly.
is a good year. Good vintage. That's
Without
good
that,
vintage
you can't
dynamo.
move this.
Matter of fact, my
If you
birthday's
try to
in
move
about
that
2
without
weeks.
that dolly, forget about it.
And my wife.
I can't barely move it on the goddamn dolly. It weighs
No,
almost
it's a great
15 or
hobby,
1800
no
pounds.
question. And
I have two of them.
Yeah.
I say it all
$2,000
the
each.
time, but
Yeah, I
it's
saw
true,
that
and
at
it
home.
still gives me that same feeling as when I was a kid. That radio. Oh, come on, Kathy. I'm gonna have to get up and shut that off if it doesn't stop. I'm sorry. Radio's amazing. It's amazing when you contemplate it. Just think about all the stuff that's flying around in the air. You know, and all you need is to tune to the right frequency, and you can hear it, and you can't see any of it. Amazing, absolutely amazing. K2, IJY, and 2
Okay, you
LJ.
want to sell it here?
You're not kidding. It is amazing. I was intrigued with it from the time I was a little kid. I saw those tubes glowing in the old radio. It had to be about 1952.
いや、俺が映ってるよ。
I looked in the back, and I think they were like
こちらのオ
6B4s.
ー
That
ナーさん
had
ですけどね。
real dull
こっちが
film.
私の知り合
And
い
I
の
looked in there. I was so intrigued how that thing
いや
could
見に来てね、送信してたら
combination of those
壊れ
devices
ちゃってね、
you
今
could
直
hear
してね
something、
試運転ってい
from
う
who
感じ
knows
です
where,
ね。
miles away. So that was kind of intriguing when I saw that. And radio station towers always intrigued me. You see the lights glowing, flashing on, and also planes wouldn't run into them, whatever. But I was drawn to that from Christ, I bet you 5, 6 years old. And I don't know, I've been doing it ever since. Just been a nice way to go. You know, anybody doesn't have a good time doing this, I don't know. They're missing the boat, you know. You know, so really interesting. Yeah, that's a nice receiver. I know what you're talking about. It's really amazing how much stuff people just